be starting in 3, 2, 1. Hi, Rudy. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Jaleesa.
Well, today I asked you to come here so that I can do a project for my leadership development class. And so I really want to explore the differences between leadership and management. So I'll just be asking you a couple of questions on your previous experiences at Wells Fargo.
Okay.
So my first question for you today is, what was your management title before?
I was previously a loan administration manager 1
Mm-hmm.
within document management here.
Okay. And what did you do as a loan administration manager? What were your responsibilities?
I had anywhere from 15 to 25 direct reports that reported to me. I was responsible for their production within our environment as well as their development within Wells Fargo. And I also had other projects and various duties that I had to perform as well within my role.
Okay. And what is your title now, and what are you doing under that title?
I am currently an implementation associate 2 within document management again still. I currently publish procedures within what we call our My Work portal here, and the procedures are used throughout capital markets.
Okay. So why did you decide to leave your management role to work as an individual contributor?
I wanted to change from what I was doing. I realized that I liked management, but I didn't like management at that level. Currently in that role, it just didn't fit with what I was looking for the direction that my career to go rather. And I found that going down the path that I'm currently going down with the implementation associate will lead me towards my end goal of getting closer to project management as well.
So you mentioned at that level, so did you not like managing entry-level people, or was it the size of the group that you managed that you did not like?
So there were a couple different things for me. The size of the group was a big part of it. Within Wells Fargo, often they try to keep managers to about 10 to 12 direct reports. And like I said, I had between 15 and 25 on average. It's a lot of extra paperwork and everything that goes along with that. A lot of extra HR calls as well. And managing at that level at the frontline level, you do have a lot of issues that come up that you don't necessarily see in the support group or at various other levels throughout the organization too.
What type of issues?
Showing up to work, not doing the job that they're being paid for, issues like that.
So you have to do a lot of babysitting?
It's not necessarily the word I would use for it, but yes, there's a lot of walking somebody through the process and through a day, and a lot of HR calls that went along with that.
Okay. So in your role as a loan administration manager, you had to do a lot of administrative tasks and walking employees through their daily responsibilities.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So basically what you did not like about that specific management role was the administrative tasks?
I would be willing to say that was kind of what it came down to. There was, like I said, a lot of paperwork, a lot of HR calls, just a lot of different calls and things that you had to deal with that you otherwise wouldn't have to.
So was it the amount of administrative tasks such as HR calls that took you away from your work? Was it the amount of time that you were spending on these tasks that you did not like?
Yeah, a lot of it was the amount of time that had to be spent on those calls. A lot of it was just my overall mental state as well, having to worry about somebody else's issues that come up and having to handle those, whether it's through HR or just through the conversation with that person. Like I said, it just kind of drained on me throughout that year as well.
So your mental state was, you were basically drained,
Right.
exhausted,
Yeah, emotionally, if you will.
emotionally
Yeah.
exhausted. Compared to your current role now, would you describe yourself as emotionally exhausted?
Compared to how I am now?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There was a lot more emotions, empathy that had to go along with the manager role as well. You don't have a lot of that in this current position.
Okay. So in my class, we're discussing things such as an emergent leader versus a designated leader. So
Okay.
designated leader is someone who has that management title, that title of manager. And an emergent leader is someone who does not have that manager title, but they're still seen as a leader on their team. People
Right.
go to them. Perhaps they're the subject matter expert, or they know a lot of stuff.
Right.
So they're looked at as a leader. Would you describe yourself as an emergent leader right now?
Yeah, I guess I would say so in that context. Yeah, I would describe myself in that way.
Okay. And going back to the manager stuff, do you see yourself, or do you enjoy managing people more or less, or do you really enjoy managing projects?
I think what I really liked out of management was more seeing the development that people had and watching them develop throughout the year. Wells Fargo offers a lot of different opportunities for personal growth in any role that you're in as well. So for me, it was helping the people along that path and that process, and just seeing that end result is what I got more out of that.
Okay. I was having a discussion with our manager
Okay.
yesterday during our one-on-one, and I was not formally interviewing her, but she was saying some really good things that I just had to write down. So she was basically telling me the differences between managing a high-level individual contributor versus managing a entry-level individual contributor. She said when you're managing entry-level people, that's a lot of holding of hands and walking them through the process, et cetera, et cetera. You have to deal with people not showing up or being tardy, and for lack of a better word, basically you have to do a lot of babysitting.
Right.
Versus managing a group of high-level contributors, such as our team. She doesn't necessarily have to hold our hands, babysit us, because we know what we're doing. And we've all been at Wells Fargo for years, I think between 3 to 15 years.
Right.
So we all know what we're doing. So there's a big difference. So where do you see yourself in the next couple of years, career-wise?
I will most likely stay in the individual contributor role for a couple more positions. I would just like to get a little more experience within the project management side of the work that we do. And from there, I would actually like to get back into management at some point. It's just the timing has to be right, and the position has to be right for it as well, for me to make that move back into management.
So is it safe to say that you do not want to manage like a group of 30 entry-level
Yes,
team members?
that's very safe to say.
Okay, and my last question for you today is, how do you continue to lead regardless of your job title?
For me, I just try to lead by example more than anything. Just doing the right thing when an opportunity comes up. If there's a risk, raising your hand. Just stepping up when an opportunity comes up. Like I said, that's generally how I try to lead, is just through example.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.